Did you know you can walk into the IIT Recovery Fulfillment Center and pick up a free Narcan kit? It's simple, and our staff will show you how to use it step by step. Narcan can help reverse an opioid overdose and may save someone's life. You never know when a friend, family member, or a neighbor may need help. Stop by Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Be ready. Carry Narcan. You could save a life. Hello, and welcome to the Recovery Path. Alrighty. Okay. If you all can hear me, please put a one in the chat for me, please. Alrighty. So I do want to say good evening to you and welcome to the Recovery Path. So today we are speaking on Know the Signs and Save a Life, right? I'm your host, Katrina Ray, and tonight's live stream is presented by I'm in Transition Recovery. To bring awareness during Overdose Awareness Month, International Overdose Awareness Day is Monday, August 31st. So keep that in mind. We are here to have an honest conversation about overdose. We will talk about the warning signs, how Narcan works, and where people can find help. This is not about judging anyone. It's about being ready to help a friend, a family member, a neighbor, or even a stranger. Some parts of the conversation may be hard to hear. Please take care of yourself, right, while watching. If you think someone is overdosing right now, make sure to call 911 immediately. Also, I ask that our audience, thank you so much for joining us. Please place all your questions and comments in the chat box. Alrighty, I want to say thank you for everyone tuning in from Facebook and also from the YouTube channel. It's been a while. I haven't seen you all. And while you put your questions in, I'll make sure to answer your questions, and also our guests can answer your questions as well. Right? Okay, so moving right along, let's go here. I just want to state some facts before we get started, right? And something to think about during this conversation. The monthly provisional drug overdose data release from the CDC's National Vital Statistics System predicts that 68,641 drug overdose deaths within 12 months, right, ending February 2026. Now, good thing is that this number has reduced by 12.1%, right, in the US. Yes, it is getting better and it is progressing. However, we are not finished, right? So that's why we're here today. I do want to say thank you, Brenda. Hi, Kalitha. Thank you all for coming in. And let's see here. And let's go to our guest, right? I want you to meet our guest that we have for you. I would like each guest to introduce themselves. Please share your name, your role, and why this conversation matters to you. Each guest here, and we're going to let's start with Tony. Tony, if you can tell us about yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Tony Usi. Uh, I'm a recovering addict, but I'm also a CDCA2 drug counselor. I'm a SUD and mental health counselor. And I guess what this means to me is we need help out here. Okay, and that's what it means to me. And we need all the information we can get. And that's what it means to me.
Can't hear you. Trina, we can't hear you.
Oh, my apologies. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and we have Margaret.
Hi, my name is Margaret Logan. I'm a recovering addict. I'm a CDCA certified peer supporter slash supervisor. I'm also a certified community health worker. I currently work at I'm in transition. And I, I have 15 years clean. And why this matters to me, it matters to me because I know my struggle that I had. I came around in 95, I got clean in 97. And I feel that if I could save just one life, it means all the world to me if I can just save one person a day at a time.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And let's move right along. Okay, and we have our next guest here. Okay, Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a recovering addict. I was a client at I'm in Transition Ministries. They saved my life. I'm part of a MAT harm reduction program. And all this being said, it's the reason I'm here. Thank you.
Alrighty, so thank you all for being here. And I have a follow-up question for you, right? And to the audience as well. You can answer this question as well in the chat. When you hear the words overdose awareness, what is the first thing you wish people understood about overdose awareness? Okay, and we can start with with Ben.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So the question is, when you hear the words overdose awareness, what is the first thing you wish people understood about it?
The first thing I wish they understood is not to pick up. You know, when you, I don't know the facts or the odds or the numbers, but I think there's about a 50-50 chance from the first time you were to try fentanyl to your dying, to your demise. Just from its addictive nature and pure evil qualities. So the first thing I would say is don't pick up.
Okay, and Tony and Margaret, you all can chime in when you like.
Okay. But when I first hear the word overdose awareness, uh, it's important because I think of death. You know, I've had experiences through my using years. I've had experience with other being around other people that has died. You know, not just had overdose, and because we wasn't aware. And when I was using, we wasn't aware of all of this stuff that could help us when we did overdose. Today, addicts are more fortunate.
So, when I hear the word overdose and overdose awareness, and what it means to me is the fact that I know we can help prevent it. We can't stop people from using, but we can be prepared and we can teach others how to use Narcan and to help bring someone back. Um, and it's needed. I feel everyone should have Narcan in their car, at their job, on them personally. I keep it in my car. It's better to have it than not to have it. And so when I hear that word, I just feel the need to continue to talk about it so that we can save more lives.
Mhm. Perfect, perfect. Thank you all for sharing that with us. Okay. And here, oh look, Ben, you have fans in the comments. They're saying we love you, Ben. Thank you everyone for joining us. So do we have any? Oh look, we do have a Whitney. She says, "I wish more people knew how to use Narcan." And that's good that you mentioned that, Whitney, because
Mhm.
that's our next topic, right? So let's go on to the next one. And it is basically knowing the signs, right? Knowing the signs of an overdose. Okay. People sometimes think they will clearly know when an
Mhm.
overdose is happening, right? But it
Mhm.
may look like a person is sleeping,
Mhm.
and that can create doubt. Should I shake them? What should I do? Should I call for help? You know, let's see what are some signs that a person is having an overdose. And you all
Okay.
can chime in when you like.
So signs of an overdose is loss of consciousness, unresponsive to outside stimulus. They can be awake but not able to talk. Their breathing is slow and is shallow, erratic, or it has stopped completely. If you're a lighter skinned people, your skin tone will turn blush and purple. If you're a darker skinned person, it turns a little grayish or ashiness. And you can gently shake the person and say, "Are you awake? Are you awake?" And then if they don't respond, you take the Narcan out immediately and you put it up one nostril and then call 911. And then while you're in that process, if they don't come to, then you can put it up the other nostril and do it again. And by then you might be on the phone with someone on with 911 and you could start doing CPR.
Okay, okay, that's good information to know,
Oops,
right?
you on, Tony? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So what I've seen, like, in my past life, when I was in active addiction, we would witness this all the time during the, especially, in the height of the fentanyl crisis. We just lost so many people, like so many guys
Mhm.
and girls, but it's just like Margaret described, but there's also like the purple lips and the gurgling sound was a definite. In the Narcan, where as much as you possibly can put in that person to keep them here. Like there's no overdosing on Narcan, so don't be afraid to
Mhm.
use it. Amen.
Okay.
I've seen 9 bring someone back, so it's just don't be afraid. Just keep pumping it in there, praying, and get on the phone. Amen. Thanks.
Mhm. Thanks,
Okay,
Ben.
actually, Margaret just covered everything. Okay,
Mhm.
basically, she covered everything, but most importantly, she spoke about tone, that a person's race, their tone, and their skin, because like I say, in a light skinned person or the average white person, you see those the blue lips and the changing of the skin. And also it depends on what that person is using.
Mhm.
A overdose off speed is completely different from an overdose on opiate.
Mhm.
So I
Oh.
must be aware of all of that. Like, and Margaret pointed that out too. The being awoke but not being able to react and respond and this and that. That's usually happens with someone that's overdosing off uppers. I've had that experience in my life over the years of overdosing over uppers, and so I was able to witness my entire overdose.
Mhm.
So it's a lot, but Margaret basically covered it all.
Okay, and that's good information. You have something else to say, Ben?
Just as I was doing some research last night, I was looking at the new numbers coming in from the Cuyahoga ME, and there's about 100, bags in the morgue from overdose this year in 26. Now, it's not all fentanyl, right? Just like Mr. Tony was
Mhm.
saying, there's
Mhm.
cocaine, there's speed, but the information, according to Google or the sources I looked at, was don't be afraid to use the Narcan because everything's got the fentanyl in it, and that's what people don't realize that they'll think it's an overdose on speed, but it's actually the fentanyl, and the Narcan's not going to hurt.
Right. And to add to that, even difficult walking, talking, or staying awake. And they did say the blue and purple grayish lips. And you can also look at the nails and also look at the very small pupils. You could pinpoint cold and a clammy skin that also occurs. And like they were saying, now fentanyl is in marijuana, it is in crack. So we provide Narcan strips in our Narcan box outside our building. You can take the Narcan strips and put it in the bag of marijuana or put it on top of the crack and see the color change in the strip, and you'll know fentanyl is in it, and don't use it. Even if you
Oh,
have
that is
heroin,
excellent.
even if
Yeah.
you have heroin, stick the Narcan strip in the heroin.
Oh, that is excellent, excellent news. That's excellent information. And
Mhm.
I want to say, because I'm getting messages that if you're on Facebook, and it may have froze, you can always tune in to the YouTube link as well. Okay. Just so you all know if it did freeze up on you. Um, Now, for the strips, where can an individual go to get some of these strips, even if it's for a family member? Like, hey, look, put them in some bags, hand them out. Even if they're just handing them out to homeless or strangers on the
Mhm.
street, where can they go to get these strips?
If you want bulk fentanyl strips, you can call or go to the Adams board.
Or
You can go to the wellness center. You can go to the centers. You can go to AIDS task force. Different centers that provide prevention will have fentanyl strips. We keep a box of fentanyl strips outside in our box. Address is 14441 Euclid Avenue. I'm in Transition Recovery Fulfillment Center. We keep that full with Narcan strips, fentanyl strips and Narcan, and we'll be happy to give them out to you if you come in and ask for them, including Narcan. You can come and get the boxes of Narcan from us.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Also, I'm going to leave the IIT, which is the I'm in transition recovery. The phone number is scrolling at the bottom. If you need help, call us now. You can call us Monday, call us anytime. We do have an after hour line. The phone number is 216 for our guests or our audience members who are outside of the Cleveland area. It is 216-389-7413. Give us a call. You can also follow us. I'm going to put up here for you. Let me give you here. Okay. You can also follow us here. You can see a QR code in the upper corner of the screen. You can scan that code and you can go to our link tree and you can see the impact that I'm in transition recovery is making, and also follow us and get more information as well with the QR code for you. Now, let's stay. I want to stay on this topic for a little bit longer. Now, what should a person do if the person, their friend or family member, isn't waking up? Should they immediately give them the Narcan, or should they shake them? What should they immediately do? Should they listen to their heart? Should they press their hair, press their ear up against their chest? Should they look for breathing? Here, listen to see if they're breathing. What's the first thing we do when we suspect an overdose?
well, like Margaret has said from the beginning, I'm gonna first shake them to see it, make sure they're not asleep. Then I'm just gonna meet. I'm not gonna assume anything. And I know they're using. I'm gonna grab that Narcan
Mhm.
and I'm gonna spray. And once I put that spray in, then I'm gonna make that 911 call. And in the process of making the 911 call, then I'll probably hit the right nostril too, especially if they haven't responded. Uh, Ben is broke out about we can use as much as we want. It's not gonna harm
Mhm.
them. Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure will.
well, I'm gonna keep that process going on until some help get there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's for
Okay.
me. That's
And,
what I.
and it's always good if you know CPR. You can
Yeah.
always provide chest compressions by locking your two hands together and continue to give chest compressions until the emergency squad gets there.
Okay, we do have a question from the audience. They're saying, how many times can a person get Narcan?
Then
Is it unlimited amount of times during one overdose? Like during that
So
one
I've
overdose of
seen
how long
9.
it
I'm sorry.
lasts? Hmm.
I've seen 9, but I've heard of 14 and 15 in the hospital. They have the drips. Unfortunately, I was like the worst of the worst in this. I'm just here by the grace of God, but they had to go to the drip system for a lot of us. That just, we would get it so deep in our system when the carb fentanyl was out. That was just the
mm,
worst animal. Like it would be so deep in your system, you'd have to be on a Narcan drip for 8 or 12 hours. So you'd be sick and sore and embarrassed, but it was, you're still here.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Now, if we do suspect that our loved one or a friend or someone is overdosing, should we call 911 before the Narcan or right after we give them Narcan?
Give the first dose of Narcan right away and then
Right
call
away.
911.
Yeah,
Mhm.
call that one.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Now, what do you recommend? What if the person is afraid to call 911 because maybe they're participating, with the individual or even gave the individual the drugs that
Well,
they
yeah.
overdosed on? What should they do if they're afraid to call 911?
I'll say it right now. Practice good Samaritan law. Practice good Samaritan law. There's nothing that can happen to you. You're doing this, you're helping them stay alive. Don't worry about going to jail or anything, even if you provided them with the drugs or everything. Good Samaritan law. Do the right thing.
And to add to that, what Margaret said about the Good Samaritan law, we do, it's the reality out here. We do got people that don't think like that. They get so
Hmm.
scared. But
Hmm.
I've seen people actually call 911 and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just pray that, but at least they made the call. If they hadn't called, person probably would
Mm-hmm.
have died. Some have, but even if they left, please make the call though. Okay. Even if you're scared about consequences for yourself, make that call.
So what if the individual wake up? So let's say we give them the Narcan first, right? And it wakes them up. Should we continue to call 911 or what should they do next if they wake up from using the Narcan from the overdose?
Well, I've been around situations where they wake up fighting, they're arguing, telling you, "Oh, you blew my high. Why did you give me Narcan?" Yeah, so it's going to be on that individual. Hopefully, they'll go to the hospital, but I've seen cases where they just get up and continue to go use.
Continue to
Oh,
use.
Hmm.
all right, all right. This is some
Now,
good
to that Good
information.
Samaritan point, we had actually lost a guy that's not, I mean, not like I knew the young man. He was with us, right? And somebody had left him at the hospital in the parking lot during that whole Good Samaritan, where you could go. Guys were going to jail for calling 911, so they changed the law. So you do not go to jail,
Go
right,
to
for
Yeah,
making that phone call. You're just helping somebody out, like Miss Margaret said. It's not. There's no trouble. There's no charge. You just call and help, and the ambulance will come. Now, just like anything, you obviously you don't want to repeat that process, but yeah, you're not going to get in any trouble. We did lose a guy from that. They just left him at the hospital, in
hmm,
the parking lot. So he was on the wall. We did, in Painesville, they would do Hope Over Heroin, where they'd release balloons for all the addicts, that died from the fentanyl or heroin, and it would just blot out the sky. They would have these huge walls, and when I walked through there, he was on there, Matt.
Mhm.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. This is great information. And to the audience, if this information is helpful to you, please leave a one in the comments. Also, let us know where you're tuning in from. Okay. And like here, let me see here. We do have a comment from Jasmine. Jasmine says the Narcan drip saved her life. Right.
Yes,
So that's what we are here for. We're here to know the signs, and you could possibly save a life, right? And we're
yes.
bringing awareness. Okay. So last question. Now, when it comes to the Narcan, how should we store the Narcan? Does it have to be cold? Can it be sitting in the car to prevent it from expiring? If we want to go and pick some up, right, and just carry it with us, how do we store it?
You don't have to store it at any certain temperature. It could be in the car, it could be in the trunk, it could be in your purse, it could be in the refrigerator. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt it. And I've known cases where they say, hey, even if it says expired, it's not expired. You could still use it to save a life. So expired doesn't mean expired.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. All
You
righty.
get
One
one
thing
out of the box.
sorry, I carry a little medical bag with me for my own personal stuff, my eye drops and stuff, but I always keep a few in there from anything from the McDonald's to the meeting I was at where it came in handy.
Yes,
Mm,
it does.
okay. All righty. Thank you. Thank you for that information. And also here, just so everyone knows that you can go and pick up a free Narcan kit, right? With I'm in transition,
Transition.
recovery from the resource, our recovery fulfillment center.
Mhm.
And this is how I look. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. Yeah. See, it's very simple. You can carry it in your pocket. It's
Yes, you
very
can.
small. Hmm. Smaller than your hand, than the palm of your hand.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then now I want to move on here. Um, now, facts are important, right? But real experience helps us understand what these moments feel like. Thank you for being willing to share with us, Ben. And I want to know, and for everyone, you are in control of your story. Okay. So if you would like, you can please share, your lived experiences um, in the comments as well, if you would like. Now, for Ben, what do you wish people understood about just addiction and overdose? What do you wish people understood about addiction and overdose?
Well, the addiction that you don't need to do that first one to talk to somebody that God can heal all wounds, time heals wounds. A lot of us turn to it for different pain, to help us with pain. So, prayer and God can do anything. That's what I like to share about that. And the second question, I'm sorry, the second part of that question.
What do you wish people understood about addiction and overdose?
And the overdose. I think like the professionals covered everything on that very well. Just being in the trenches, I've seen it so much. It's just devastating what it does to the people. And I still go and drop off what I can to help out the families of the young men that not you know I it, I used to pride myself that I never lost anybody during that addiction, but they're all gone. They're all gone. There's nothing to be proud about any of that. It's sad. So uh,
Yeah, that,
just for the families, for the little ones that are going to grow up with no parents because of something they don't even understand. So
Yes.
that's where my heart is. Amen.
Yeah.
hmm
Amen.
and Ben, um, can you, if you don't mind sharing, how how many times have you overdosed? Like, can you give us some background?
Yes,
Maybe there's
yeah.
someone in the same
Uh,
shoes.
Again, it's I'm not very proud of. It's at least in the high teens. There came a time when I kind of was a lifeguard and stuff, and I would walk around like I was somebody, but it got to be a drag trying to keep everybody together, and I just started using by myself. That's where it took me, and there's nobody there to put the Narcan in then. So it's
Mhm.
just countless times, but it's it's just such a blessing to be here. I think I'm just so grateful every day when I wake up and I'm still here. I got my little girl. This was an old picture, but like this is how old she was. When I first overdosed. So that little girl would have grown up without a dad, and
Right,
things like
right,
that are reminders to me of why I stay in recovery and why I stay close to the people that I care about.
right, right. And that relates to Jasmine comments. I want to say thank you, Jasmine, for tuning in from YouTube. Jasmine says addiction devastates families and loved ones. And with that statement, I want to ask you, Ben, when did you realize that you wanted help or that you needed help?
I think The first time I tried it, probably I knew that I was in trouble. Uh, and I'm just going to leave it right there with that question. But again, I'm very grateful to be here today. So anything I can do to help, just ask. But yeah, the families, that's the hardest part, is seeing the little kids that just never even knew their parents because of,
Yeah.
just a simple mistake. And even like my ex, my first love, it was just a sort of a party thing. And the guy said, try this. And it looked like something different. And it was supposed to be a club thing. But they don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They're mixing everything in there, and that's why the numbers are showing now it's, 30% is from the heroin and fentanyl, and it's something else that they're overdosing on. But it's the heroin and fentanyl. It's in everything. So um, I'm sorry I rambled there, but don't pick
No,
up. Yeah,
right.
it's the cow catcher on the front of the train that gets you, not the caboose.
Right, right. Now, we're very thankful, that you survived,
Mhm.
to be here with your family, to be here with your daughter. You know, that story touches all of us, right?
Yes.
We all have a family member who was a substance abuser, who struggled with addiction, and some of them didn't make it. Some of our
Yeah.
parents, some of our uncles, our cousins, right? So I'm really grateful for your recovery. And just so I want to ask you just a few more questions, okay? And it is based upon your recovery. What helped you take the first step to recovery? Because maybe it's someone out there who wants to start their path on recovery. Um, what helped you take the first step?
I think for me was realizing how powerless I was. So I was in the treatment center a month clean, maybe, and I was still having dreams that I was, you know, um, I don't know how to say this, but I was copping dope. I was having dreams that it was coming to my hands. So I'm waking up and trying to reach out my hands, and I go, "Oh my God, I'm a mess." That's when it dawned on me. You can't even stop if you try. And I started meeting fine gentlemen like Mr. Tony and Miss Margaret, who just helped me and encouraged me and kept me on the right path.
Okay, great, great,
Glad we
great.
could help.
Yes, and
You guys are
and speaking.
lifesavers. You guys are lifesavers. You really are.
hmm And we have another comment here. Thank you, Kalitha, for tuning in and engaging with the conversation here. She says this is a family disease. I lost my father, my son-in-law, my cousin, my stepdad, and my brother-in-law all to overdose. So I just want to take a moment so all of our viewers know how serious this
Yes,
is,
it is.
right? Some people don't come back. Sometimes entire families are
Sure.
devastated, right? Due to this. And that's why we are here because we want to continue to make a footprint in the community, in the city, just in the world here at I'm in Transition Recovery. Um, and let everyone know that hope is there and recovery is there, right? And there is
Yes.
no judgment, right? Because this hits home for every single person, no matter where you are in the world. Ben, you spoke of Miss Margaret and Miss Tony, you know, being there to support you, right? Helping you through this, through your recovery. Um, can you be can you give some more details on what kind of support was helpful and what type of support may not be helpful for family members who are watching this that want to help their son? They may want to help their daughter, right, or their father, or their mother. What type of support do they need to give them to help them during their recovery? And what type of help do they need to stay away from?
So I'll go with the first one. I think if one thing's clear, it's not a cookie cutter process. So everybody's process could be different. But as much as my family prayed for me, and as much as my little girl, begged me to get some help, go to the hospital, get better, Dad. It was really up to me to ask
Mhm.
God for help, right? So it's up to and that's the unfortunate part about it. You can't get someone clean, no matter how close they are to losing everything or their life. It's up to them. It's up to me to make that decision, to ask God for help, and then to be brought to a place like Alliant or I'm in transition, um, and to receive the professional care that where there's professionals that know that, and people in recovery that know what you're going through, that talk the language, that have walked the walk, that really made a difference to me. People that made sense, that knew what I was talking, that understood me, and encouraged me. So I think that was the most helpful stuff. What not to do, I think, would be probably be aggressive or like demanding, because there's already something going on that probably drove you to the drugs. But I don't know nothing. I know it's not a cookie cutter process.
Mhm. And thank you so much for that, Ben. And Margaret and Tony, being that you all are the professionals, you work in this field, what type of support do you all believe is influential when you're working with clients? What type of help do you provide for them that you see them being more receptive to?
Active listening, learning how to use motivational interviewing, having empathy. And when I see them, I see me. And I constantly, when I do groups, remind them that I sat where you once sat. I am you. I was where you sit. I was where you stand. I done just about everything you done. We just didn't do it together. I let them know I identify with them. The one-on-one counseling that IIT provides, the PHP, the IOP, individual counseling. When I heard about the CEO wanted to open up a facility in East Cleveland, I was like, oh, I didn't believe it was going to happen, because he talks. I love him, Mr. Jason. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll come work there. Yeah, I'll come work. Yeah, I'll do it. Didn't think it would happen. And then when it happened, and to be able to be there on a daily basis and be there with Tony and other members, and to be able to be in the thick of it. We're in the trenches in East Cleveland. And when they come in that building, they're at their lowest of low. And we still continue to give them the support and the guidance and get those people into treatment. And I thank God for I'm in transition to have this facility available for us to give back what was so freely given to us. Tony?
Okay, and for me, it always starts off with identification. Uh, Addicts are lonely people. We feel that no one understands, nobody understands us, nobody knows. So what worked for me really was, first of all, was to let them know I feel you. I've been there. I ain't heard what nobody said. I did. I walked that same walk with you. Just
Mm-hmm.
like Margaret stated out. And then we work on into, like she said, the motivational interviewing, the emotional regulation, and most importantly, a lot is that boundary development. Because a lot of times, just being in bad company has brought a lot of chaos into good character. Just being in the bad company. So it's a whole learning process that works, and we all combine together to let them know that
Yes.
we can
Mm-hmm.
be something different. It's not really about the drugs or whatever. It's about changing the way we think, and we can think different. And that's what we do as counselors, and let them know that. It can change, especially when they see that identification that, yeah, you probably was worse than me, but look at you now.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I'm saying? And it ain't about, some people would look at it as that you make people feel low. No, it's telling you that you can come up. It's showing them that they can come up, because when I'm at that lowest point, I don't feel that I got a way up. I feel that this is it, until somebody that was in that gutter with me or before me is that person that pulled me out. And when I
Mhm.
make those clients believe in themselves in that, job well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's what working with the clients is. It's very important to me. This is what I do even when I'm not working. I do this. This is my life. Okay, this
Yeah.
is what I do. Okay, because I know the horrors of addiction and never want to see nobody have to go through it. And the
Yeah.
ones that go through it, I'm gonna give you a hand to help you get out of it. But it's up to you to grab the hand. Still always comes back to you.
Mhm. Thank you so much for that. Thank you all. And here, I want to say we have a statement from Torah. It says, one honest conversation can help break the stigma surrounding addictions. And that is true. Now, I have another question because most of the time we know that it's a family member, right? Who calls and says, hey, my loved one, I want to get them some help, right? It's usually a loved one who calls and takes the first initiative. Now, what should that loved one do if their family member refuses to get the help? No matter how hard they try, and they really just like, come on, please, 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 you're wasting your life, you're going in a downward spiral, but the family member rejects the help. What should that family member do, or how can they handle that without losing hope?
Can I go first this time?
Hmm.
Yes.
That's what a lot of people don't realize, that family members sometimes play a large part in a person's addiction. They don't know it. We call them enablers. Uh, so we got a program for them too. It's a 12-step program. Uh,
Hmm.
so if you care that much, you can't get no help. We always suggest that sometimes we got a thing that's called. Sometimes we got to display some tough love. If it get to that point that I can't do nothing at all for you, uh, because if I keep helping you, I'm just gonna keep hurting you. And when they're that bad, then I got to look at what part that family, as a family member, I played in it. Uh, Sometimes, like I said, I got to just play tough love, and just let that person be who they're gonna be. Because they say about addiction and addicts, we can cry over 'em, we can pray over 'em, we can lock them up in a straight jacket, we can put them in jail. An addict is not going to stop using until they want to stop using. Uh, And when
Hmm.
they get to that point, you've done all you can do, and then you go to your close classes so that you can understand better, because you spoke about that love you have for that person, so you liable to help them along with their addiction without even realizing you're doing it. But if you go yourself, any family member needs a 12-step program too. Really, if I'm really involved with you, I need to go to my Al-Anon program or whatever else so that I can learn and understand the problem that my family members going through and what they have, so that I can help them. Then that way I can help them a little better and help myself.
That was
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
I wish everybody I knew in this world went through a 12-step program. It'd be a much more cohesive place.
That's right.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you so much for that information. I want to say thank you to Roderick for tuning in from Facebook today. Roderick says you have to want to stop getting high more than anything else in life,
Yeah.
right? And that speaks on to what Tony was just expressing as well,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I do want to also mention here that, well, first, let me tell everyone thank you so much, okay, for staying in this conversation with us and engaging with us. I want you to, if you are interested in I'm in transition, some of the services that we offer here, again, you can scan the QR code in the upper corner and follow us. You can send us a message. We have Facebook accounts, we have a X account, of course, YouTube account. Feel free to contact us, right? Make sure you do follow and share this channel for to your loved ones, right? It may help them. Okay. Now, I'm in Transition is a faith based nonprofit organization, okay, that helps people and families facing substance use, mental health, recovery, and reentry needs. And I want to say that because we have Jasmine here who also lets you know that IIT passes out socks and sandwiches to homeless, and also help them in other ways as well. And I want to just speak on a few of those ways that I'm in Transition helps individuals and helps the community and helps the needy or the less fortunate, right? And helps them get hope, right? Because that's what this is all about. Now, when it comes to one of the services that I'm in Transition offer is recovery housing. Can you all expound on why recovery housing is necessary, right? When a person is on the path of recovery.
Well, for me, well, what happened for me was I went to treatment several times and I ended up going back home to my parents. And in 30 days, I relapsed. My mother gave me tough love and said, "You're going to have to go to the hospital and get some help." And I ended up going to a facility outside of Cleveland. And from Cleveland, I mean, outside of Cleveland, and I later made it back to Cleveland. But I ended up in recovery housing. I knew I couldn't go back to my parents. I couldn't go to my sisters or my brothers because no one knew about addiction. I had to go around people like me seeking recovery through a 12-step recovery program and live in a house amongst other recovering addicts and alcoholics. And I chose to go to a place where all women lived. We were in different fellowships, AA, NA, and CA, but we had curfews, we had house meetings, we had to be accountable for our recovery, and we helped each other. So, recovery housing is so important. I encourage anyone to go to recovery housing, even if you have your own apartment, your own house, or anything. Give yourself a break and learn how to live this new way of life.
Mhm.
And for me, I spoke before about being bad company, uh, uh, corrupting good character. You know, and in the streets, all I've been around is bad company. So I'm do what they do when I'm around people that do what they do. You know, treatment. If I come to treatment and a recovery housing, especially this one here, because it also is faith based too. So not only is it teaching us about how to stay clean and not use it, also teaching us the power of Christ. Okay, but I'm in a place where nobody's using.
Yeah.
Most importantly, nobody's using. I come from a place where everybody used. I don't care where I went, somebody was using. But I'm in a place now where nobody's using. Uh, nobody's really cussing. You know, people is reading scripture. I'm getting up in the morning, having to do devotion. That's new to me. Okay, I don't get up and talk about no. I get up to find out where I'm gonna get my next one from. Okay,
Mhm.
that's what I wake up. That's the first thing pop in my head. But here in the recovery housing, I'm shown new people, new places, and new things. You know, we say it that we have to change people, places, and things in our life for recovery. Uh, that's where it starts at. It's not so much
Mhm.
about the drug. It's just the most obvious symptom of it. But the
Mhm.
problem is us, our thinking, and our whereabouts, and our you know who we be around, our boundaries. But in recovery houses, like Margaret said earlier, we around people just trying to do the same thing we trying to do, and that's hopefully, and most of us are.
Mhm.
And then when we do that, all of a sudden that mind, that thinking that we got, that disease thinking we got, it'll start changing, and it'd be some recovery thinking popping up in there, some spiritual thinking popping up in there, some God thinking popping up in there, some Christ thinking popping up in there. It'll change. And that's the importance. And so when I do come out of there, I should have enough sense to know that not to go back to the same place. Because if I go back to the same place, I don't care how much recovery I got in there. You spoke about what does addiction mean, why it's important that we know about it, because we need to really understand and respect the power of addiction. And a lot of us, we don't. We treat it with a minimum of concern.
Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for sharing that incredible information. I do want to see here. We have Wyman, right? We have another viewer, Wyman. Thank you so much for tuning in from Facebook. Wyman says, having a safe place to work on myself was the best opportunity I received from IIT, right? And that speaks to what you all are speaking of. And it leads me to um, it leads me to the next question. Okay, we only have a few more minutes here. However, I do have a couple more questions before I hand it over to the viewers. Now, speaking of IIT and it being a safe place to work on yourself, right? If someone was to walk into I'm in transition recovery, and especially the satellite, the fulfillment center, the recovery fulfillment center, what should, if they were to walk in tomorrow, we'll say, what should they expect if they were to walk in tomorrow?
If they should walk in tomorrow, they're going to get greeted, treated with love, kindness, care, and ask them, what can we do to help you? And what we do a short intake, get some information, and immediately start making phone calls to get this person in the treatment off the streets immediately. We
Immediately.
can have someone in treatment within 45 minutes. We get them out and they can go to treatment throughout different facilities in Cleveland and out of Cleveland if they need to get out of the city. And we can provide clothes for you.
Mhm.
Anything,
Okay.
all your basic needs for daily living will be given to you. We will feed you while you're there and waiting. You're going to get transported to the facility. All you have to do is just walk in and be willing to get some help. You don't need clothes, you don't need suitcases, you don't need anything. We're going to provide it for you at I'm in Transition Recovery Fulfillment Center in East Cleveland.
Okay. Now, do they need to bring anything with them?
They don't need to bring anything at all. All they need to do is come in and have the willingness to go to treatment, and we will get them there. And we
Bring the
give them
body.
several
Bring the body.
options.
Now what if they don't have any insurance? Can they still get help?
Yes, they can still get help. There are several facilities that will take them without having insurance. We also can help you get your insurance renewed if it's expired up until 1 o'clock. They cut it off. We can call Medicaid and get your Medicaid renewed by the same day within the hour
Okay,
and can get
great.
you off the treatment.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, here's a quick story. Today, I was asking about a guy who came in May 5th. And I asked, I hadn't seen him in my relapse prevention group in a while. And I asked another counselor about him. She said he just finished Thrive Peer Support, got his license, just bought a new car, and he's working. I said, well, let me look at his file. And he's been there over a year. And he came through that door at I'm in Transition without any insurance. He came straight from University Hospital, and he was brought in by Mr. Jason and said, hey, can you help him? And I got on the phone and called Medicaid, and look, a year later, he's a certified Ohio peer supporter. That's what
Mm.
IIT did.
Oh wow. Oh
Yes.
wow. Okay. And now I would like to hear from the audience, right? I want to hear from you all. If you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comments. Um, let's see here. You may want to ask family members if they have any questions and what they would like to hear. Until you all leave some in the process, while you all are leaving some questions or comments in the chat, I just want to ask a question because this does happen, okay, for children, right? Because sometimes children are affected by this as well, right? When they may find a family member's drugs and take it, think it's candy. Can Narcan be given to children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, alrighty. And when an individual wants to walk through the doors or contact I'm in transition, does their friend or loved one have to be with them
No.
when
No.
they come?
No.
Their friend or family member who's on drugs, do they have to be there with them?
If they're on drugs and they come in, no. No.
Hmm. Okay, so a mother can come in and say, "Hey, I'm concerned
Hmm.
about my son
And
or
we'll
my
give
daughter."
them all the necessary
We get
steps.
that.
We encourage them
Yeah.
to bring them in, but we will give them other information and phone numbers to places that they can call.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mac, and let me put in, we just got that, went through that today. A
Mhm.
gentleman came in and he wanted to get help for his girlfriend, so called
Mhm.
girlfriend.
Mhm.
And he got numbers from us, he's got trying to get her up there and he wanted numbers to other places. So we assisted him with the numbers.
Mhm.
Uh, to get him and tell him you can even try to bring her here. You know, it's available to her. So we see all types, like Margaret said, we in the jungle. Whatever happens out in the street is right in front of us, right there.
Mhm. Mhm. Right, right. And again, I do want to say thank you so much. Thank you all, and thank you all to the viewers for coming in and engaging with this conversation. So now I just want to say this one last thing, okay? Now, give me one moment. I want to make sure I'm staying on track here, right? Okay. And this is for the audience, okay? I just want to ask the audience some questions and get their feedback. Do you currently have Narcan at home or in your car? You can please say yes or no in the chat. Let's see here. Do you carry Narcan with you? I carry Narcan with me, right? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. We have a question here. They ask, what is the age range for the RFC? So I'm thinking they're asking, what's the age limit to get some help? What's the youngest you can be?
They can come in at any age, and we will be glad to direct them to different youth services, all the way up to adult services, senior services. Yeah, there's no
Okay.
age limit.
That was a great question. Great
Yes,
question,
it
Roxanne.
was.
Okay, so we have some people saying they have them in their car. Someone said I need some, you know. So yes, so this is definitely bringing us back to overdose awareness,
Mhm.
and what options we have to save a life, right? Now let me see here. Hmm. Okay, and also in the comments, thank you all for engaging and cooperating with the yes and no. And if you could leave a comment stating what did you learn from tonight's episode? What did you learn that you didn't know about overdose, and what brought some awareness to you? What did you learn that was new? Okay, let's see here. Whitney says, let me pick hers up. She says, yes, I have many at home. I keep some on my person and in my car. Good, 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 good. And that's what we're about, knowing the signs and saving lives. Okay. We have Jessica. Jessica says, Jessica says, I don't, but will soon after watching this video. Oh, that is so special. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to our guests, right, for letting us know what we can do, right? Because sometimes we feel like our hands are tied. There's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
my family member doesn't want any help. Am I just supposed to sit here and watch them,
Yeah.
you know, harm themselves and separate the family? No. You can make a quick call. You can walk through a door, right? And that can change someone's entire future, their entire life. Now, before we leave, I do want to ask my guest one last question, right? In one sentence, what do you want people to remember after tonight?
I want them to remember that help is available to us all.
I'm a bit straight out with what I say, 'cause so for the people that can understand stuff. What I want people to know that if you don't change your life, something bad gonna happen.
Oh, and Ben?
One sentence. Um, put
Okay, I'll
God
give you
first.
three.
Put God first. Stay clean, and you can do anything. Love you guys. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All righty. Um, so in our closing, I want to let you all know here for our viewers, right? If you look here at the bottom, you see where it says help save a life. You can scan the QR code if you would like to donate to I'm in Transition. If you would like to donate monetary, if you will have coats or clothes or maybe food supplies, if you would like to make donations to this nonprofit organization, you can welcome to scan the QR code that you see here at the bottom of the screen. We welcome all donations, and we are thankful for all the blessings that our donators give us, right? So here's that for you. And again, if you would like to follow us, you can scan this QR code. We're just like the QR code channel, right? You just do all over the screen. You don't have to remember anything. Again, if you would like to follow us, welcome to do that as well. I do want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. I want to thank my guests for sharing your knowledge and your experience and for taking time out. Tonight, we heard something important, right? An overdose may look like someone is sleeping, but if the person will not wake up or is not breathing normally, act quickly. Call 911. Give the Narcan if you have it. Stay with the person until help arrives. Or if you're scared, some people do leave, but you want to make sure that that person gets help immediately because we're here to save lives, right?
Excuse
And
me.
bring awareness.
Just one correction. If you have it, use the Narcan first, then call 911.
Right. If you have it, use the Narcan first,
First, and
and
then
then
call.
second, call 911.
Yeah.
Right? We also heard that recovery is not always a straight path tonight, right? There may be setbacks, fear,
Mhm.
doubt. That does not mean that hope is gone. Okay. If you need help, definitely, or trying to help someone that you love, you can contact us at 216-389-7413. You can always scan this handy dandy QR code and follow us and get our contact information that way. If you feel better going on Facebook and leaving us a quick DM, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay. Um, Again, I do want to say thank you all for tuning in. You can visit our Recovery Fulfillment Center. You can
Mhm.
contact us for additional information, right? And also receive free Narcan kits. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, know the signs, save a life. Help starts with one call.